Hi, I'm Chad with Move for Guitar. This lesson is from our series Chords for Beginners. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to play an open E minor chord. So here's an open E minor chord. And this is a really good chord to learn as a beginner. In my opinion, it's a good chord to learn as your first chord if you haven't learned any chords yet, because you're only fretting two notes, you're only pushing two strings down and using two fingers, and then you can strum through all the strings. So it's a really good beginner chord. So the fingering is your second finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, your third finger right underneath that down towards the floor on the 4th string, 2nd fret. And then all the other strings are just open, which means you just let those other strings ring out and you strum through all the strings. And you can also fret it with your 1st and 2nd finger, so it'd be the exact same thing except with your 1st and 2nd finger. So your 1st finger would be on the 5th string, 2nd fret, and your 2nd finger would be right under that on the 4th string, 2nd fret, just like that. So either way works. And as you learn more and more and you start playing chord progressions in songs, the way you hold this will just depend on what chords are before and after it to make it the easiest transition possible. So right now you can just do whatever is easiest for you, and eventually you'll probably learn it both ways. So with this chord, you want to get your 3rd finger or 2nd finger if you're holding it like this. You want to get your 3rd finger as close to the fret wire as possible, and your 2nd finger or your 1st finger if you're holding it like that will come right up to your other finger. So your fingers will be together like that. So this one will be farther back in the fret wire, your 2nd finger in the fret, towards the back fret wire, which is okay. You don't want to stack them on top of each other, because with chords or when you're fretting notes, you want to get as close to the front of the fret as possible without being on top of this fret wire. But it's not going to always be possible with every string, every finger and every chord. So with this one is really close to the fret wire, and this one will just be touching your 3rd finger. So your 2nd finger will be touching your 3rd finger, or your 1st finger will be touching your 2nd finger if you're holding it like this. And make sure that you really arch your fingers up and you're really playing on the tips of your fingers. You don't want to have your knuckles bent back at all like that. You want to have them arched up like this so that you can make sure you're not blocking out any of the other strings. And if you hear anything like this, you need to go through and check and readjust your fingers and find out what's causing that, and keep readjusting them until everything rings out clearly. And if you want to get the diagram for this chord as well as for a bunch of other beginner chords, you can click the link on the screen and it will take you to a free eGuide, which includes, like I said, a bunch of beginner chords that you can learn, really useful chords to get you started, and a lot of chords that aren't even that as common as the other chords. There are some really cool chords in there. And also, I've put a list of chord progressions together using the chords in the eGuide. So taking, for example, a G and putting it together with a C and a D to create a chord progression, so that after you learn the chords, you can actually put them together, play a chord progression, make a song, and hear what sounds good together, and then learn how to experiment on your own to see what sounds good together. Like I said, if you would like to get that eGuide for free, just click the link on the screen. So that's an open E minor chord.